Hello, my lovelies! I'm Ginny O, the author with no last name, and this is Star Stable Month. I'm digging into the PR put out by Star Stable and the new reviews by employees on Glassdoor to see what's been going on since April. Apparently, since this is my third video, it's been a lot. We might hit the bottom of John Jarl's tomb at this rate. We left off with learning Stacey Place is now the co-game director or game director of SSO after working there since 2017 or 2018, and the rest of this article by Alice on the main quest is with the current CEO from 2017, Johan S. The article claimed Johan worked on all the original Star Stable offline games. To be clear, he didn't work on the Starshine Legacy games as a writer. Pixel Tales produced Starshine Legacy, yes, or if he did work on it as a writer, he's not in the credits. The Star Stable seasonal game quests, a lot of them were ported directly into Star Stable Online. So if you were working on early quests with Find the Cheese and Save the Ducks, those are from Star Stable seasonal games. They aren't the most inspiring of quests, okay? This isn't a ringing endorsement, because 3 of the 4 seasonal Star Stable games, the stories had no conclusion. In autumn, you were about to do something fishing related with Firgrove, you hit level 11, and hey, it's off to the Claymore Challenge. Sucks to be Firgrove, I guess. Winter, the conflict was tied up with Sabine and show jumping, so technically there was a resolved story there, though Mr. Sands and company did absolutely nada. In spring, I have no idea how the Rockville summer camp turned out. That just ended abruptly with the Rondilla Riding School Championship once you met Anne. And oh my god, I don't know Coyote's secret. It was never explained. That whole thing with Herman in the castle? Yeah, that was just there, wasn't it? But hey, time to go to the States to participate in a rodeo event, I guess. Johan goes on to paint a very rosy picture of how Star Stable started, and their concept was Harry Potter meets Black Beauty. What? I never got Harry Potter meets Black Beauty out of Star Stable Online Starshine Legacy at all. I've already talked about how Harry Potter is a horrible comparison for Star Stable. Black Beauty is even worse. How about National Velvet, the Saddle Club? Something that makes me believe you've actually read horse books or watched horse movies. Then again, the tired line of girls deserve real games and we want to make them real games. And so yeah, there was an underserved market and they wanted to exploit it. And they really need to check their whole real game thing because they don't have a quote-unquote real game. They have a visual novel with a cash shop. He then says, how hard could it be to make an MMO? Oh my god. Oh god. He really goes on to tell us without telling us. They don't know what they're doing. Star Stable doesn't have a plan, never had a plan, and that they've been focusing quite a bit on their new players, and only their new players. Yeah, we'd figured that out. But thanks for the confirmation. He claims there is a breadth of content, which I don't agree with. Basically, they made themselves a bunch of problems, and now they are having a hard time course-correcting to get them right because they're making money. So why bother fixing anything? And what they are banking on to make them right, instead of experience, is inclusivity. Trotting out, like they enjoy doing, that 54% of the studio is female, and you know, that'd be great if there were more females in positions of authority. If the writer was female, putting Stacey Place in as game director is a good start for inclusivity, but is it a good start for the experience needed to course-correct the game? He says they want to work on diversity and inclusion and work on the quests. But hey, it takes time! And we're only going to have female game player characters. One of these things is not like the other. Time! I don't think they really have time. We have heard this before. We have heard it over and over and over. They even put it in the game once. Have patience. It takes time. We've given them time. 10 years of time. There comes a point where you run out of it and they are hitting it like a train at full throttle. And then Johan closes with they want the players to keep giving them feedback. because they use feedback to create plans. Their method, as revealed further back in the article, was give feedback, create it, release, fail, and improve. Honestly, this makes me cringe and explains about a lot about release schedules, like getting certain types of tech and, well, the horse breeds. On the upside, if the player base can organize enough, they might be heard on important issues. It's a positive article in a way, because it does address that things aren't as rosy as the official PR team want to make out. And they are expressing they are now working on plans to fix the issues and the lack of organization. It's a negative article because it reveals that they are still going to be making horses every month. Quests are going to be a long time coming due to the fact they need to rebuild their quest team. And it's possible they're only fixing the back end because they can't make progress on the game at all until they do. And their priorities are to be adding in events over story, which, if Christmas is anything to go by, is going to be a lot of grind. The more I read this article over, the more it bugs me. They want to be where the players are, so they're moving to mobile, which is really the opposite, in my opinion, of how the game was conceptualized, and a lot of the recent decisions to make the game more accessible in mobile have really hurt the overall gameplay of what is a PC game. This article, or the main quest, is more of the article they need to be producing on a regular basis and less of the puff pieces they keep putting out, in my opinion. My main worry, well, it's more than a worry at this point, it's almost a certainty, is that this is far too little, far too late. So let's look at the Glassdoor reviews since April. What started this whole thing? There were 10 reviews in April with a 2.9 rating. There are 17 reviews with a 2.5 rating. I want to reiterate that Glassdoor is a reputable company. They have the algorithms like Facebook to know whether or not these reviews and ratings are real. These new reviews aren't fake or spam. One went up that was, and Glassdoor took it down almost immediately. Okay. I mean, there were reviews going up within days of everything exploding. It was like the employees were finally emboldened enough to say something due to the support from the fanbase on Tumblr and on YouTube and Instagram and so on. There was a 2-star review added on the 6th, a 3-star on the 9th, a 1-star on the 23rd. There was a 5-star put up in May, but the cons are making me wonder why it's 5 stars. In June, a 1-star review, a 2-star review, and then in August, another 1-star review. These 1-star reviews, despite the new 5-star, are really dragging their rating down. The pros reflect what we've seen. Star Stable Entertainment, if you fit in, is a nice, friendly place to work for. If you don't, they'll bully you and drive you out. I guess, yay, flexible hours, being able to work from home, except the bullying bit. The cons are still, despite everything, the same as they were back in April, even in the August review. The rotating teams are overworked. They have toxic positivity, where they don't even want to talk about the negative aspects of their game that could be improved. So much so, the employees who want to do technology and bug improvements and have great ideas to put into the game, they run out in 6 months. Nothing gets done, bug or code-wise, unless the game production has ground to a halt, which, given the main quest article and some new programs they're using, I really think it has, which is forcing them to do stuff. You can do things on your own if you want, just don't expect it ever to be put into the game. I remember after an animator left, watching their reel about work they'd done at Star Stable, and the animations they did with the characters, and none of it had been put into the game. Like, they'd been doing face animations, and it was pretty standard stuff for a game anymore, and obviously they had to have done it on their own time, because none of that made it into the game. SSO's cutscenes are a joke. 9 times out of 10, they aren't even important, and they don't even animate the characters out of their standard poses. Maya, for instance, is holding error most of the time. The employee reviews are stating again, you're at a full stop or dead end if you want to advance your career or skills if you work at Star Stable. People stay because it's a stable and safe job with good benefits if you want that sort of thing and don't mind not improving anything. The higher-ups are laser focused on revenue, new features to the game, new ideas. If they cost anything more than what's already being put into the game, then they aren't going to be implemented. One of the former game devs has said publicly on Tumblr that housing isn't going to be implemented. It's too costly. I'm not sure if that's money-wise or coding-wise. They've also said in-game quests aren't a priority because it's too complicated to get into Epona. Once again, they created that problem. Epona didn't have to be that complicated. In fact, the map we have now, plus Mystic Valley, should all be open at the same time. This game is way too zone-locked for the size it is. The CEOs and stakeholders want to make cash and they want to be penny pinching on the game as they do it and will ignore and deprioritize everything from game bugs to entire small departments until the game breaks and production grinds to a halt. They have turned into a meat grinder for employees, which is sadly typical for most gaming studios not to care at all about the mental health of their employees as they wear them down to nubbins creatively. Even the 5-star review goes, it doesn't seem like the company has a clear goal when it comes down to being a horse game. And this could be because I have yet more news about SSO's management. In September, Tabitha Hayes, remember her? The CMO they got from EA has moved on to Epic Games. And there doesn't seem to be any news on who replaced her. So not only did a game director move on, the chief marketing officer moved on. I mean, good for her, finding new opportunities. At the same time, this means someone else is going to have yet another new vision for Star Stable less than 2 years after the previous person. Yay, new vision! But not yay, because why can't they keep management teams? This is a question I feel needs to be asked. Why can't you keep people? There was, according to Google, a game director job listing posted. I'm not sure when because the ad has been closed, nor do I know if it was filled with anyone else outside of Stacy Place. Co-director makes me think yes, and yet until I see an actual listing, I'm not going to be 100% on that. We haven't actually heard anything from Marcus, the original game director, since 2016. When there was a rumored shakeup in the upper management. Another rumor said in 2019, according to Glassdoor, there was yet another shakeup of management which tossed the 2020 roadmap for the game out the window. Now it's 2021, and they have a new game co-directors whose qualifications are studying to be a film and TV producer, avid Star Stable player / game journalist, to community manager, to horse character and gear production manager, and there is no word or listing anywhere on LinkedIn or otherwise about a game director who's in charge of things like game mechanics, story, and lore, the map, who is in charge of visual direction and working with the art director and narrative designer to, I don't know, make the game an actual game? Sure, she's going to attend a meeting about crests. Oh, gee, a committee. Get off the pot. Do something. Stop having meetings. The top 5 people listed on LinkedIn, if you can see it, is the CEO of Norsk Entertainment, the company who bought a significant minor stake in 2018 to SSE for the tune of $15 million. A CEO of Us2 Games, a UI/UX company based in London, Johan S., the current CEO of Star Stable, and a guy who works for Trustpilot. Oh, that's like a severe conflict of interest. Because Trustpilot is the rating website that parents and children use to rate games. Star Stable CEO isn't even on top. So no CEO, no trumpeting of their former EA and Activision CMO, no game director posting, no art director, no way to know who is on this team at all via LinkedIn or their website. In today's day and age, that is troubling. According to Glassdoor confessions by former employees, it's people who work there the longest that get promoted to positions in management. I don't know about you, the idea that Stacy Place has worked there the longest to become one of the biggest and most important part of the management team over the game, who is in charge of the long-term roadmap, terrifies me. Look, I'm sure she's a nice person. I'm sure she knows quite a bit about the inner workings of Star Stable. Since 2018 in the live event, when I last knew she was a community manager, Star Stable has doubled the horses they put out, and public relations and the community said it was Stacy's decision. There has been less gear, less character gloves, and everything has become more expensive. And I'm not sure how you can be a production manager of a rotating set of teams anyways. That one still baffles me. Games tend to have one game director. There will be a game design director in charge of the game designers. Teams tend to have one director, so there is one vision and one roadmap and one shape of the game. So a co-director could be 1, 2, 3 to God knows how many, and this game already feels, and in some cases looks, like it's been designed in committee. Now it looks like that is the actual truth. Stacy is the only game director for Star Stable on Twitter, it seems. There are a handful of employees out on Twitter, including the game content designer, who is promoting his own indie horror game. This does not instill confidence. And if 6 people got laid off or left, is he still a content designer at SSO anymore anyways? Every single, and I do mean every job listing I've looked at, there has been a line in there somewhere about how employees have to be able to communicate with the stakeholders. The priority for SSO is not the players, it's the stakeholders. The stakeholders that only became involved after Johan S. took over as CEO of SSE. Hey, this is the game that's proud of being the 3rd best game with horses via Screen Rant, right behind Barbie Horse Adventures, Wild Horse Rescue from 2003, and The Sims 3 from 2009. The last sentence really sums it up. Truly, SSO is an experience that is worth trying at least once. And despite the main quest's great article, it doesn't look like their ranking is ever going to really change. Though the article, again, did give hope they're going to address some of the organization issues and priority issues in the game. There is a huge disconnect, in my opinion, with what Star Stable says they want to be and the values they want to espouse versus what they are doing and what is actually in the game. Their reputation is in the depths of John Jarl's tomb, locked behind 2 more seals, and they're running out of time. They want to be relevant for the next 10 years. The problem is they aren't actually relevant now as a game. If they last 5 more years, or past the opening of their next game offering, I'd be surprised. Next time, let's look at what Star Stable has actually done in the last 6 months, and what they plan to do in November, and what the community response has been. December is almost always Christmas. Thanks for listening, bless, take care of yourselves, and as always, I'll see you in the next video.